When Charlie Kirk was gunned down at Utah Valley University just 6 days ago, his killer thought he was silencing the conservative movement. Instead, he unleashed something absolutely unstoppable. The numbers don't lie. Stick me to the very end of this video because I'm going to show you how grief has transformed into a political awakening all across the country of unprecedented scale, suggesting that the man they killed may have just become more powerful in death than he ever was in life. Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot Professor, here to help you make sense of the madness as the far left desperately tries to stop the unstoppable rise of a new conservative age that you're making happen all over the world. So if you want a front row seat on how you're changing the world in ways you never even imagined, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Also, I do have a big announcement here. We got a little surprise for all of you. I've started a new channel. That's right. If you're looking for clear, powerful insights to make sense of the world around us in just 60 seconds, check out our brand new Turley Clips channel. These are short, inspiring takes that help you think clearly so you can live courageously, rooted in timeless truths and hopeful trends. And I would really appreciate if you would go on over there to subscribe and share it with your friends. Just click on that link below or search Turley Clips on YouTube and be sure to subscribe so you're always grounded and always ready. All right, so as you all know, Charlie Kirk was not just another political commentator. At just 31, he had built Turning Point USA into a conservative empire spanning over 850 college chapters. His organization was credited with registering tens of thousands of new voters and helping flip Arizona for Trump in the last election cycle. Now, many of you played a direct part in this and may not have even known it. We all together on this channel raised tens of thousands of dollars for the Pennsylvania chase. Remember that with Cliff Maloney to knock on 500,000 doors in the single most massive get out the vote campaign in Pennsylvania's history? The Pennsylvania chase, gang, came out of Turning Point USA. It was the Pennsylvania version of Charlie's Arizona get out the vote campaign. So you all played a direct part in this in some way, shape, or form. President Trump himself understood Charlie's unique values, stating that no one understood the heart of youth in the United States of America better than Charlie. I mean, this wasn't just political rhetoric. It was recognition of a young man who had fundamentally rewired how conservatives engage young Americans. Now, Charlie's campus debates weren't just intellectual exercises. They were also very effective recruitment operations. Videos of him challenging liberal students racked up millions of views, creating what conservative youth leaders called a permission structure for young conservatives to speak openly. As one Republican leader noted, Charlie Kirk instilled confidence in a generation of conservatives to express their beliefs openly in classrooms, on campuses, and in public forums. And now, in the wake of his horrific assassination, it does appear as if Charlie's already astonishing influence is just beginning. We are now getting voter registration numbers from the last 6 days, and they all suggest a massive, massive surge towards the GOP. Our good friend Jack over at Red Eagle Politics is reporting that the GOP gained 1,200 new voter registrations in both Pennsylvania and North Carolina in just the past week. A significant surge in both states. It suggests something major is happening here in terms of its corroborative value. These numbers appear to be a total repudiation of the Democrats. For example, in Pennsylvania, the number of Democrats changing their registration to Republican outnumbers the other way around of Republicans going Democrat by a factor of 3 to 1. 3 times as many Democrats are switching to Republican than the other way around. And it's even worse in North Carolina. The number of GOP voter registrations in less than a week are running 4 times the normal average. 4 times in just the last 6 days. In Arizona, in Maricopa County alone, there have been nearly 1,000 new GOP registrations in just the last 3 days. One testimony from a voter registration booth in Arizona. This is from Marissa Hamilton. She said she hosted a nonpartisan voter registration table at a small local community event in a deep blue Democrat district this morning. Nearly everyone who walked by wanted to update their voter registration record. They all registered Republican. Every single one. Again, this isn't just grief. This is a political awakening of unprecedented scale. This surge represents the most dramatic voter registration shift in conservative politics since Trump's 2016 victory. I love this visual. If current voter registration trends hold, and everything suggests right now that they're only increasing, we're going from a ripple in 2016 to a wave in 2024 to a full riptide tsunami in 2028. But again, this is nothing. This is literally just the tip of the iceberg. We're now finding out that things are even worse than anything the Democrats could have ever imagined in their most demonic nightmares. Wait until you see this. But that's them. That's them. Their world, as we will see, is rightly falling apart as we speak. But what about us? What about our world? Charlie always talked about empowering conservatives, both young and old, to take control of their futures politically and financially. And there's just no better way for you to see your finances flourish than by investing in crypto like Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, I get it. I mean, if you're like me, the volatility totally turns you off and intimidates you. The extreme highs are great. But what about the equally extreme lows? Well, guess what, gang? Your experience of that volatility is now officially a thing of the past. Meet Block Trust IRA. They have a super AI system that Bitcoin Magazine has named the #1 crypto technology platform in the world among 1,500 global competitors. And what that super AI does is it works 24/7 to analyze global market data, and it predicts with uncanny accuracy the highs and the lows of crypto volatility. Block Trust IRA then sells at the highs and then buys again at the lows, which mitigates the volatility, all the while you stand to make absolutely incredible gains. Gang, that's why I'm a proud client of Block Trust IRA. I love them. I have an account with them. And gang, I just couldn't recommend a company more. Their mission perfectly aligns with President Trump's Make America Great Again agenda, smashing down the barriers between loyal patriots and the financial freedom that you deserve, helping true Americans build impressive wealth in Trump's historic economic boom. So look, it doesn't matter if you're a teacher, a truck driver, small business owner, or if you're a retiree. This is your chance to get in on the crypto market with AI mitigating your volatility risk. It's amazing. So what are you waiting for? Click on that link below or visit turleytalkscrypto.com and find out how they can help you join the Trump financial revolution that's finally giving forgotten Americans access to the greatest crypto wealth opportunity in history. And the best part, gang, they are offering you up to $2,500 in bonus crypto when you open up an account with them. You heard that right, $2,500 in bonus crypto. This is an amazing opportunity. Do not pass it. Click on that link below right now. Crypto created 80,000 new millionaires last year. Why not you next? Visit turleytalkscrypto.com. That's turleytalkscrypto.com. Now, things are even worse for the Democrats than they could have ever imagined here. This massive trend towards registering Republican is happening against the backdrop of what the ultra-leftists at the New York Times were already calling the Democrat voter registration crisis. The Times flat out admitted that you can forget the polls. Right? So they are tacitly admitting that the vast majority of those polls that they push, including their own, are absolutely bogus. Forget the polls. The Democrats are flat out hemorrhaging voters. Since 2020, there's been nothing less than a voter stampede away from the Democrat Party. And what they found, and by the way, we've been reporting on this for the last year and a half, so make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. We are, in the words of the great immortal Rush Limbaugh, we are on the cutting edge of societal evolution. What the Times editors found was that in every single state that tracks voter registration by party, all 30, the Democrats are losing voters as the Republicans are gaining voters. In every single state, all 30 that track voter registration by party, the Republicans are crushing the Democrats. And they've been crushing them for the last 4 years. This has been an ongoing trend. There's been an astonishing 4.5 million voter registration swing to the Republicans since 2020. And again, we're seeing it everywhere. We're seeing it in red states. We're seeing it in blue states. We're seeing it in purple states. Everywhere we look, the Republicans are crushing the Democrats. And now, since Charlie's assassination, that trend has only exacerbated. Glenn Reynolds of the Instapundit has an excellent piece out today where he notes that what we're witnessing here isn't just voter registration spikes. It's what political scientists call a preference cascade, where massive portions of the population suddenly reveal views they've long concealed for fear of punishment. Now, we've talked about this before. Glenn wrote about preference cascades back in November. And what happened there, he said, was that after 4 years of woke insanity under Biden, Americans simply had enough. There was a normie revolt where those who were afraid to speak up for fear of being canceled just suddenly en masse began to rise up, raise their voices, and overwhelmingly vote Trump and told everything woke to shove it. This is what's known as a preference cascade, where a critical mass of a population pushes back against the radically unpopular orthodoxies that have been thus far imposed on that population from above. And what Glenn is arguing now is that Charlie Kirk's assassination has triggered exactly this phenomenon yet again, exposing that Charlie's supposedly far-right extremist views are actually mainstream positions held by the vast majority of Americans, if not the world, by the way, as evidenced by all the spontaneous gatherings from New Zealand to Germany to Britain to South Korea, all honoring Charlie's memory. And so Charlie's murder revealed two critical truths, according to Glenn Reynolds. Charlie's murder revealed two critical truths. First, the conservative Americans represent a huge majority who've been systematically bullied into silence by a vocal 20% minority using propaganda and intimidation tactics echoed 24/7 by the legacy media. So F you, legacy media. And second, that the same minority has now been revealed to be comprised, at least in part, of what Glenn calls an army of haters. So these are government employees, these are educators, these are professionals, many of them medical professionals, who genuinely believe holding conservative ideas should carry the death penalty. But as we've been reporting now for over the last several days, the tide is turning rapidly, as we're now seeing consequences follow those demonic antics. Office Depot fires employees who refuse to print Charlie Kirk memorial posters because it's political propaganda. Well, you can think about political propaganda as you stand in the unemployment line. Hospitals have been firing a number of their staff, including doctors, celebrating the assassination. And businesses are showing the door to literally thousands of their employees who reveled in Charlie's murder. This is not a temporary reaction. It's what one observer calls a wildfire starting to spread out of control, building on previous conservative movements like the Tea Party and Trump's first term, but now supercharged by the left's overreach in celebrating political murder. The assassination has burned away the media protection that once shielded leftist extremists, forcing them into the light where companies, schools, and institutions can no longer ignore their toxic influence without facing massive backlash from the newly awakened conservative majority. As unimaginably horrible as Charlie Kirk's assassination was, ironically, it may have just guaranteed the conservative movement's absolute dominance for the foreseeable future. The left killed the messenger, but the message is spreading faster and more powerfully than ever. All right, gang, that's a wrap. Now, if you want the latest updates and some behind-the-scenes goodies, head on over to turley.pub/news and sign up for our newsletter. Big things are always coming.